I'm Ricardo Mbarkho. I'm a visual artist, and I say visual because there is a major shift in my practice since the beginning of the 2000s, and I quit all kind of excess in art practice that we learned in the fine art schools. And I went into the research and experimentations of other mediums outside of art market, outside of the socio-economic model of the visual arts. And that's things we've been developing and theorizing and analyzing practices. I believe in my case, there is a authenticity and a symbiosis between my thinking, my feelings, and my art practice outside of art market. And I question the socioeconomic models to create elements or practices, experiences where people share with me a thinking, a questioning, and to define more our place into what's happening around us. I'm assistant professor of art at the Lebanese Academy of Fine Arts. It's a faculty related to the University of Balamand. And I am the director of research and the director of the Center for Research and Creation at the Academy. There is a limit in art mediums all over history of arts, and I believe visual arts have reached its limits. And when I say limits, I mean the freedom of the artist to express in his or her ecosystem. In visual arts ecosystem, I believe there is already the impossibility of being in the same time free and succeeding the expression in traditional visual mediums such as paintings or drawings or sculpture or any kind of production of objects or even not objects, because these productions will be controlled in fact by the art market decision makers, and this is not the artist. And if an artist wants to stay authentic to himself or herself, there is an incompatibility between this authenticity and the tools of visual art. That's why we decided to be free. That's why. In the Center of Research and Creation at the Fine Arts, Lebanese Fine Arts Academy in Beirut, we have the objective of thinking and analyzing and researching an interdisciplinary approach of the different sectors of art. And this is a place where every single student since the master degree can join and meet other students from different disciplines at the same time. These are efforts that took place in the academy, and there are teams who worked and people who discussed, and we started 2 years ago. And now one of the Atelier for Research and Creation is dedicated to in visual art, and the Atelier are centered, are researcher centered. They are not student centered like the other courses in the academy, where the student propose his own project from the start. This is a place where the researcher is conducting the research already running in his own practice, and the students will join the team to learn how research methodology can be dispatched into teamwork, and they will learn from the researcher. And in my case, and since we worked together a long time, Alexander, you and me already, and the ecosystem where we evolved, which is now known with the name Invisuel art. So it's evident that in my case, it's a research and a practice and a creation for Invisuel art. So I believe that this is important because visual arts is more and more into academic dynamics, and students needs like a window or like a perspective to be able to rethink and even redefine their own disciplines of studies. So this is important because visual arts is a multi-compatibility, let's say. It's able to implement and dialogue with and plug in different disciplines to evolve them. So why? I would say it's a innovation, a research, and a evolution place for any discipline. Visual art can evolve any disciplines in the art practices today and in the creative industries today, which is important for our academy. We always look for the innovation and to excel in our studies and thinking and research.
How it was possible to create this space of research in an academic school? Because usually academic schools are against the innovation.
Okay, I would link this to the major politic of the university, which is open to innovation. Anyway, this is not a major struggle to implement visual art, but I would say that the research and creation center itself is yet a place that is very fruitful, let's say, and compatible with new ideas and the new field of studies and research. So it was a place already in favor to new ideas, which is a research center or a lab, let's say. Now I understand that certain education politics are conservative and would be hesitant for new tendencies or genre, but I'm not really worrying about these kinds of politics in terms of visual arts, because visual arts today is an ecosystem that is already in the literature, in books, in articles, scientific articles, academic articles, in different countries, and in terms of academic, there is a visual arts has already marked the history of education. Our partnership with ENDA, the art school in Paris, our partnership with Paris Biennale, and other partnerships here in Lebanon, in the local art scene, like art residencies and art museums. I speak, of course, about the Atelier. These all gave the visual arts a credibility, enough credibility to be welcomed in a academy, a prestigious academy. So we are not here talking about new tendencies that were born yesterday. And visual arts today has proved its endurance and consistencies and density and utility to the scientific community, art community, since around 24 years already. So, in visual arts market its history and history of art. So it was let's say, easy to embrace visual arts as academics and vice versa.
So what is the interest for the students who are a part of the lab to be in this lab?
It's a place where they can meet the international community of visual arts, because visual arts is not a single territory-oriented genre. Visual arts is today practiced by a community of artists, philosophers, thinkers, academics, etc., all over the world. So whoever join a lab or a atelier of research and creation in visual art is already connected by joining the atelier, is already connected to an international community and a kind of networking, which is quite motivating to students who are in Beirut now, to quickly talk to people from France, from Canada, from Tunisia, from Spain, Germany, now Bangkok. I will not count all the countries, but I stress on the international aspect of this genre. And also, it's interesting because the people affiliated to visual art are discovering and theorizing in the same time this kind of practices, and at the same time their own selves, because in visual arts is it's art, and art is about each one's self. So students are very glad to rethink not only what they are doing, but also what they are, what they want, how they see the world, their own critical view to their socio-cultural, socio-economic, socio-politic environments. And this is motivating the students quite good. And they are working on theory and practice, both combined. Some students are oriented to theory. They like to write articles. Others are more in experience-oriented or life-oriented, like events-oriented. This is also interesting for them, this kind of theory practice merging together, like practicing as theory and theory as practicing. And they are publishing. The atelier is going to publish the work, and when we publish, it's also a stamp or a trace in history, and this is also very symbolically a valuable outcome, very motivating for the researcher, for the academy, for the students, for the people involved in this dynamic.
What can be the interest for an art school to implement in visual art lab as ARCAI?
The school is quickly connected to other schools who are interested in research and practice. And in visual arts is already in different schools. So a school that implement a atelier for research and creation is quickly networked to other schools in this perspective. It's also interesting because the school has often majors and disciplines. So the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach, pluridisciplinary approach of visual arts is also interesting because the school would want often to introduce students wherever they are in the school to meet other students in different choices they choose. So it's a place in visual art atelier or lab to gather students together with teachers and with guest artists. And it's interesting for the school because it's very feasible. The ecosystem today of visual arts is quickly providing a school a solution in content, a solution in organization, a solution in outcome. So the school has already a big content in visual arts from the collection, from the human resources, I mean the artists and the thinkers who are involved in the system, who are all willing to participate at atelier and labs in schools all over the world and visual art. So this is also interesting for the school to discuss with visual arts people because the content is here, so they are not writing from scratch. That's interesting also, I believe. And it's very feasible. Today, people are online or travel, so that's a hybrid experience for schools today who are more and more using digital tools. That's interesting also.